Good morning and wake up wives. My name is Sharnetta J. Harrell, and this is segment number 4. Today, I am coming to you to talk to you about maintaining self-care and friendships after the ring. So I'm very excited to begin really digging deep to begin to talk to you about that. I want to welcome all of my followers. I want to welcome everyone who's watching. And as always, I want to encourage you to be interactive, to ask questions, and to provide any suggestions or feedback that you would like to know or that you would like to see from me. So let's jump right on in. Again, my name is Sharnetta J. Harrell, and I am empowering you to peel back your layers one day at a time. I am your favorite online wife life resource to live and to love in your purpose. Okay? So what inspired me? What got me going? What, really prompted me to begin talking about this? For me, I think that I'm so busy all the time, as a wife, as empowering you guys, as a daughter, as a sister friend, as a cousin, in my community, I'm always so busy, right? Sometimes when we become so busy in life, we can really forget to take care of ourselves and we really begin to feel burnout, right? Just like any job, we really begin to feel burned out. So today I wanted to talk about maintaining self-care and friendships after the ring. So many times women, they become burnout, when they get married after I do, trying to keep the house clean, trying to, manage the household, doing all of these different things. And they forget about their friends, right? And they forget about really taking care of self. So let's jump right on in. Again, please feel free to ask questions. Please feel free to provide any suggestions that you may have. Okay? So the first thing, let's talk about self-care. What is self-care? We always hear it. We hear it in church. We hear it at our jobs. We hear it everywhere. But what is self-care? Okay? Self-care is exactly what it is. Caring for self, right? Something that I've learned is I cannot care for my husband. I cannot care for my family. I cannot care for community. I cannot care for anybody or anything else if I am not caring for Sharnetta and for myself. Okay? So I'm going to break this down by giving you 3 different points by separating self-care and friendships. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to break down self-care in 3 different areas, okay? And again, hello to my followers and everybody who has joined. Welcome. Please feel free to ask questions or provide any suggestions, okay? And I will do my best to answer all of them before it is over, okay? Again, my name is Sharnetta J. Harrell, and I am your favorite online wife life resource, and I am empowering you to peel back your layers one day at a time, okay? So let's jump right on in. Self-care. The first point that I want to make is make me time a priority, okay? Make me time a priority. What is me time, okay? It really goes back to self-care. Me time is making time out for me, okay? So I want to kind of provide you a few examples of what me time is. So for me, in my home and in my marriage, me time is really the opportunity for me to really spend that time with myself, getting to know myself a little bit better, enjoying myself, and really getting to fulfill my interest in the things that I like to do, okay? So when my husband and I sit down to do the budget for each month, right? My husband and I, we always budget things that incorporate me time, not only for myself, but for my husband, okay? So if you know me, you know that, I love getting my nails done. I love getting my toes done. I like to shop. I've been trying to do a little bit better at that. So one of the things that has always been consistent in my marriage and in our marriage is making me time a priority. So for me, my me time is getting a mani and a pedi. So that's something that I do every month. I normally do it at the beginning of every month, and I go by myself, and it's really an opportunity for me to, sit back in that pedicure chair, get a massage, get my nails done, have some hot tea, and really just relax and, just really be in my own zone. Another thing that I like to do is, I like to, sometimes every now and then I like to, treat myself to lunch or treat myself to a smoothie or, treat myself, to a snack or go to the library and just really dive, into a book or, just something that refuels me and that re-energizes me. That is how I incorporate me time in my marriage and, in my monthly task. That is something that is a priority for me. And I think that, when we get married, it's very important to continue to do some of the things that we used to do, right? Before I met my husband, I was always getting my nails done. I was always getting my nails done. I was always shopping. I was always getting my toes done. Now, of course, I had to kind of, peel back my layers on that, and of course I had to, not spend, as much as I used to, but, it really gave me that opportunity to really kind of look at myself and, and really say, Sharnetta, what are some of the things that, you really enjoy doing, and are you still doing them? So I want to empower you. Point one on self-care is making me time a priority. Why are you not having me time? Right? What is going on? Why is that not a priority for you? If you are not making me time for yourself, you're going to fall by the wayside and you're going to be burnt out. Okay? So we have to maintain me time and make it a priority. Okay? Moving right along to point number 2, okay? Know the signs of burning out in your marriage, okay? I think that this is crucial, and I want to take a little bit more time to focus on this, okay? How I want to explain this is it's the same thing as a job, okay? When you get in a job, and you really begin to feel some of that burnout, you're tired, you're fatigued, your appetite has changed, you're not eating, you're not sleeping as you used to. These are the things that you want to look out for in your marriage when you really begin to burn out, okay? My husband and I do not have kids yet, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm still trying to manage my household. I'm still trying to tune in with him. I'm still trying to support him. I'm lifting him up. I'm with him through the good times and the bad times of life. We have family. We have, in our church, we have a lot going on. So it's very easy to become burned out and forget about ourselves and to forget about some of the things that we enjoy doing, right? Know the signs of burnout. Know what that looks like, sis. Know what that looks like. What are some of the things that, when you're in your job, you're beginning to burn out. You don't feel like being there. You don't feel like, going to work every morning. You might be, tired. Your coworkers are getting on your nerves. So it's the same thing. When you come home, you want to come home to peace, right? You want to come home to joy. You want to come home in a comfortable atmosphere. If you're burned out trying to do everything under the sun, you are not going to enjoy it. This is why we have to maintain self-care after the ring, okay? So I just want to pause because I see everybody's joining in and commenting. Hi, Antoinette. Thank you so much for joining in. Hi, Lakita. Tracy, Miss Margaret. We even have a male tuning in, Anthony Davis, and Rebecca. So again, I want you guys to ask questions. I want you guys to ask questions. If there's anything that I've said that you want me to kind of elaborate on, please do so. You know, I want this to be interactive. Okay? So, moving right along to point number 3 in self-care, maintaining self-care after the ring. Be present when having me time. Okay? So this is huge. There's no need for us to be engaging in me time if we're not really being present in the moment. Okay? That's huge. As I mentioned before, when I'm going to get my nails done, or if I'm going, to get a pedicure, or if I'm just taking a walk, or whatever it is that I'm doing daily, monthly, or bi-weekly, during the week or in the weekends, it really doesn't mean anything if I'm on my phone, if I'm texting, if I'm on social media, if I'm paying attention to everyone around me, if my mind is on all these other different things, right? Be present in me time. Lock in, right? Pay attention to what it is that you are doing. For me, I love to spend time with the Lord. If I'm having some me time, I really want God to understand that, Lord, I want you to speak to me during this time. I want you to rejuvenate me during this time. Because let's face it, we're all tired, right? We all have those moments, those weekends, those days, those weeks when we're tired. Lord, refuel me, help me to, be energy to my husband. Help me when I come home to not be irritable, because, of a bad day at work, or because someone cut me off on the highway. Help me to be able to spend that me time and really be able to be present in that time. Okay? All right. So that's my 3 points of self-care. If you guys have any questions, please ask. I'm very excited, and I want it to be very interactive. I know sometimes people join on, they come in and out, but I am going to, I have created a YouTube channel, so I'm going to post it after I'm done recording, and I really felt led to create a YouTube channel because I want my audience and I want you guys to be able to, look back on a lot of the videos that I've done. If you've missed some of my videos, my YouTube channel will really give you an opportunity to tune in and to catch up, or, or for even a reminder, right? So that was self-care. My 3 points was making me time, knowing the signs of burnout, and being present. Okay, those are my 3 points for self-care. Okay, moving right along to friendships. So friendships, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on, simply because I feel that this friendships and maintaining friendships after the ring is super duper important. And I think it's something that I can definitely identify with, and I think that it's something that we all can identify with. Okay? So, number 1, the first point that I want to make is identify and define your friendships. Okay? This week, I really had to pour out to the Lord, and I really had to say, Lord, show me my friends, right? Who are my friends in this season? Who are the women that you have orchestrated in my life that I need to continue to build up and uplift? Who are the women in my life that genuinely support me? Show those women to me, right? So don't get burned out trying to be a friend. Friendship should not require burnout, okay? Right? So my husband tells me all the time, a wound from a friend can be trusted. this is something that, I really had to dissect. And this is something that I will admit that I really didn't understand until I really began to kind of study it. And I think sometimes, we might get in a confrontation with our friends, we might disagree with our friend or something along the lines of that. And we might become burned out, right? We might like, girl, she, getting on my nerves, or, yes, Antoinese, friendship should not require burnout. Yes. So along the lines of that, we really have to understand that we have to pray for our friends. Like, let's just be real. Let's be transparent. We have to really pray for the purpose of our friends. In high school, in college, and in graduate school, if I have not learned anything else about friendships, I've learned that there are different friends for different things. Okay, I'll say that again. There are different friends for different things. Okay. Some of my friends, I know who to call, if I'm, stressed out, right? Some of my friends, even practical things, everything doesn't have to be so deep. Even practical things. There are some of my friends, who enjoy eating sushi, right? And then there are some of my friends who like soul food. So you have to pray and know what friends are for what things, okay? And I say all that to say, after you get married, marriage does not mean divorcing your friends, okay? Marriage does not mean divorcing your friends. If anything, you should continue to surround yourself with women and friends who continue to pour into your marriage. I will say that, after my husband and I got married, my circle changed significantly, and that's not necessarily a negative thing. But, I've definitely learned that a lot of my friends now are married. A lot of my friends now have beautiful marriages. And so I want to be surrounded by women who can identify with me. And I want to be surrounded by women who uplift me and that we can pour into each other's purpose. Okay? So, and I want to also say this to the last point of point number 1 for friendships. Friendship isn't always pretty. Okay, friendship is not always pretty. In the circle of my friends, I'm probably, I'm always kind of like the keeping it real one, right? I'm the friend that says what everybody else is thinking. Okay, but what I've also kind of known about myself is that, you have to be careful with that. You have to be careful of having a sharp tongue, because you want to always say things in love, and you want to always say things that, really reflect Christ, to be honest, right? Friendship, just like marriage, is always an opportunity to reconcile and to repent. Okay. And I think that growing up as an only child, I had to learn that. I had to learn that, you know what? I need to apologize to her, because I think I hurt her feelings, or, I need to, be more present with my friends. I need to be more intentional about spending time with my friends. Okay. So that leads me to point number 2 in friendship. Point number 2 in friendship is don't plan to spend time, make time. Okay. So this is huge. I was talking to one of my friends last week, and we were talking about the importance of being intentional with our friends in this season. And so what this pretty much means is, when we say don't plan to spend time, make time, this means that people are not projects, they're people. Okay, so that means instead of me hitting up one of my friends and saying, girl, we're going to get together at the end of the month, be more intentional about saying, you know what? Oh, I need to go to the grocery store. Let me contact one of my friends to see if she's been to the grocery store yet this week. So little things like that, being more intentional about making time. Oh, I'm going to this, marriage conference. I wonder if, such and such wants to go. Or, oh, I'm going to be on this conference call tonight. Gosh, such and such would really benefit from this. So really being more intentional about pouring into our friends. And I think that this is very important after the ring because, if you're like myself, the same people who were in my life when, I said I do, and after, the ring, that circle changes, that circle definitely shifts. And so I think that the importance of not planning to spend time, but making time, is that this really allows you to be more intentional about that. It's the same thing for marriage, right? It's the same thing. If you are not spending time, but you're planning to spend time, it'll never happen. Okay? It will never happen. Okay? Yes, Rebecca. Rebecca says it's easy to say we should get together, but so important to plan something specific. So the follow through is there. Yes, this is key. And I think also the reality of it is, going back to peeling back your layers, the reality also is, why is it that, you don't feel that there's any follow through with your friends? What is really the core of that? Why is it so hard for us to maintain those types of friendships? Friendships don't have to necessarily be task oriented, but the reality of it is, sometimes the basis of some of our friendships are task oriented. And when I say task oriented, I'm specifically talking about task oriented into the point of, if Rebecca and I are friends, and we are friends, if Rebecca and I are friends, task oriented means that the Lord has orchestrated us specifically in this season, in this specific time. And this means that the task that has been set before us is that, Rebecca and I met in community group at our church. And so Rebecca and I, that means that if we're hanging out, one-on-one, if we're getting together, cutting up or doing whatever, the task is that, friendship is ministry. Right? Friendship is ministry. So that means that just like marriage is ministry. And so if we think about our friends like we think about marriage, that means that we are really being more intentional about spreading the gospel and ministering to one another. Okay, so that means that if Rebecca is struggling in something, if some of my other friends, if Antoinette is struggling with something, that means that my job and my task, going back to the task, means that, I am a vessel for them. I'm an intercessor for them. I want to intercede on the behalf of my friends. I want to pray. I want to be there for my friends. I want to be, a listening ear to my friends. So that's how we become task-oriented friends. When there's a task that needs to be done, there's a mission that needs to be done, and we follow through with that. Okay? So that's point number 2. Okay, hello, Aunt Jackie. Thank you for the support. So the last point in friendships is do couple things with couple friends. Okay, so this is huge. After my husband and I said I do, the Lord really blessed us with so many different couples that we really got the opportunity to hang out with. I think this is very, very important after the ring. Okay. I think that when, two people come together, that it's very important to continue to multiply your support system. And so doing a couple things together really gives you an opportunity to see, wow, how they, interact, how, they do certain things, and, just being honest, just being practical, just having fun. Right? Just having fun. I think that the stigma to maintaining girlfriends and friendships after marriage is sometimes, well, I don't want to neglect my husband. I don't want my husband to be at home by himself. I don't want my husband, waiting for me, to get back home. I don't want my husband, wondering what I'm doing. And if that's what you're thinking, and that's something that I used to think, do stuff together. If you are friends with, if you guys, have some friends, do stuff together. Be intentional about that. Even say, going back to date night, which was segment number 3, going back to date night and saying, okay, we're gonna have date night every Friday night this month, and this third Friday night, we're gonna invite the such and suches, the whatever, to dinner, and we're gonna go downtown and we're gonna have fun. Okay, so because this keeps it spicy, and this is really an opportunity to continue to spread the gospel, and really being able to fellowship and be a support system to one another. I think that this is also key, especially for marriages and couples who don't have family in the area. My husband and I, we're definitely blessed because my husband's family is about 30 minutes from, our current home. And, my mom is probably about 15 minutes from me. So our family is definitely accessible. But, my heart is always with our friends and our couple friends who might have family, wherever, and their family isn't that accessible. So understand that friendships can also be family, right? So family means that those are friendships that have turned into family, okay? And I want to leave you guys with this. I think that is so, so important to understand that friendship is ministry. I know that I touched on that a little bit, but, I really want to say that, the Lord, continues to show me over and over again who I've been assigned to in this specific season. And, I really want to empower you, and I really want to challenge you and encourage you to pray for your friends, pray for your heart, and really pray that the Lord leads you to be a friend, and to really intercede on your friends' behalf. I think that sometimes we know our friends better than anyone, right? And there's so many friends that, I'm not Superwoman at all, but I know so many of my friends who I could be more intentional about texting, about calling, and let me just stop on that. So let me just say this. Do not allow social media and technology to be an excuse for your lack of communication with your friends. It's so much easier to text a friend rather than to call a friend, right? It's so much easier to write on a friend's Facebook wall versus, going to their home. It's so much easier to tweet a friend, versus to send them a letter in the mail. It's so much easier to, comment on our friend's Instagram post than it is to, hang out with them on a Friday night, right? But the reality of it is, let's think about Jesus, and I'm sorry that I keep talking about Jesus, but this is the foundation of my ministry. And this is the foundation of what it is that I do. And this is the only way that I believe that I can, really relate and really teach. So if we think about Jesus and we think about the Lord, scripture tells us that, God he sticks closer than a brother, right? So that means that even if my friend has offended me, even if my friend has done something wrong, even if my friend, didn't necessarily say something in love, even if my friend, didn't, support me in this specific endeavor, even if my friend, said something to me sideways, even if my friend was not that, supportive, when I launched my business, even if my friend, just whatever, love them anyway, intercede for them anyway, pray for them anyway, be intentional with them anyway, love on them anyway. Maintaining friendships after I do is probably one of the hardest things that, you'll probably do, in marriage. It's one of the hardest things. I mean, there are many hard things, but that's probably one of the hardest things. I think that, even on a Saturday, nobody wants to really do anything on Saturday, right? You've had a long week. You want to sleep in, you want to do laundry or whatever, it is, and you want to chill. You want to relax. But What if you just took 5 minutes or 10 minutes of your day to, get a blank sheet of paper and to put something in the mail to a friend that you haven't talked to in a while? What if you took 5 to 10 minutes a day to, pick up the phone and call one of your, friends from high school or college and say, girl, I was just thinking about you. And I just wanted to check in on you to see how you were doing, right? That is the type of friend that I pray to be. And that is the type of friend that I want to empower you to be. I want to empower you to maintain your friendships after your ring. And I want to say, to peel back your layers, I think that, so much of the difficulty of, maintaining friendships is always about peeling back those layers. What is it about me that I am so resistant in being intentional about friendships? What is it about me that's not really feeling it, What is it about me that, I don't really care for such and such anymore? What is it about me? What is it about this season that, it kind of leaves me alone, right? I've had a lot of seasons where I kind of felt like my friends, that I was alone, and it wasn't because of anything that they had done. It wasn't because of anything that I had done, but it was simply a season, right? And we know that that's what the Lord says, that there's a season for all things. But I want to also encourage you and empower you to know that even in the seasons when you feel alone, even in the seasons where you feel like your friends aren't really being supportive, or, you might feel like you don't have any friends at all. But I want to empower you, sis. I want to empower you to know that the Lord is a friend. The Lord is a constant help in the time of need. And the Lord will continue to fill that void of friendships, or fill whatever it is that you need. Okay? So, I pray that everyone really was empowered, and I pray that everyone was encouraged on today. I want to pray that, that you guys were empowered. Yes, Rebecca is amening. If you guys have any questions, if there was something specifically, that I said, that you want, me to elaborate on, please, let me know and do so. I do want to share that, that I am working on a project for September. I am launching it on my birthday. I'm very, very, very excited about that. And I cannot wait to share that, with you guys. I believe that it will bless you richly. And I'm very, very, very excited. Okay. So again, let's review the 3 tips for self-care and friendships. So self-care was making me time a priority. 2 was knowing the signs of burnout. 3 was being present when having me time. Friendships was number 1, identifying and defining your friendships. 2 was not planning to spend time, but to make time. And 3, doing couple things with couple friends. Okay, so if you are joining for the first time, this is actually segment number 4. I can't, really believe that. This is segment number 4 of Wake Up Wives. Wake Up Wives is actually one of my weekly segments that I facilitate. Wake Up Wives is really an opportunity for millennial wives, or even millennial women who aspire to be married, or engaged women, to, really get in the know before they go, right? It's a 9:30 a.m. segment that, empowers women before they start their busy days with their husbands, with their families, or with their church or community, or whatever it may be. It's really an opportunity for you to be empowered before you head out for your busy weekend. Okay, again, that's one of my weekly segments. There are 3 weekly segments. There's also Tune Up Tuesday. Tune Up Tuesday is uploaded to Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Tune Up Tuesday is a 1-minute video clip that gives you a tune up. right? It gives you a tune-up for the week after you push through Monday. Tuesday is your tune-up, and it's a 1-minute video segment. And then on Fridays, Friday is the word for the weekend. I posted that on yesterday. You can also find that on all of my social media websites. The word for the weekend yesterday was rest. And so you can look me up on Instagram at Shernetta J. Harrell. You can find me on Twitter at Mrs. Shernetta J. And that's, you can find me on Twitter at Mrs. S.J. Harrell. And of course, you are tuning in to Wake Up Wives on Facebook at Shernetta J. Harrell. You can also head over to my business page, and that's Shernetta J. Harrell as well. You can also look for weekly blog posts at ShernettaJHarrell.com. Okay, so we are going on 35 minutes. I try to keep it short and sweet. I try to keep it, right to the point. And I hope that something was said or done. Again, I'm getting ready to upload my YouTube channel. So if you miss any of the other segments, this will really give you an opportunity to go back and refresh yourself and empower yourself to look at those things. So if there is nothing else, I think that we are all good. Again, I want to thank everyone who has commented. I want to thank everyone who has joined. I know people were in and out, but I am always so thankful and grateful for everyone who has tuned in. Again, my name is Shernetta J. Harrell. I am your favorite online wife life resource for millennial women, and I am empowering you to peel back your layers one day at a time. Have a good day, ladies.